Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the installment of Scott's Selections here for Friday, October 2nd. Before getting into today's play, that a quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up giving out a look-ahead UFC parlay coming up on the weekend card tomorrow. So check out that video if you have not done so before, as both picks are still available. I did see the line move, so we ended up getting a good number at the time. But overall, I still think both fighters are going to win. For that reason, still a solid deal. But overall, we're going to be looking at the NBA Finals for Game 2 here on Friday. I know yesterday, pretty interesting day in sports. You had a bunch of day games in baseball, some entertaining ones. Game 3 in Oakland kind of got nuts. We also had the Padres comeback, which was nuts. Dodgers shut the door. Kershaw was fantastic in that start. But I'll talk about baseball and tomorrow's card on the Today in Sports Betting Show with Scott Steen tomorrow on baseball. But for basketball, we're going to be looking at Game 2 here between the Heat and the Lakers. A lot of stuff happened in Game 1. I'll have to recap some of that. But for the spread, it's currently available pretty much market-wide at 9.5. However, the play of the day, we're going to be going with the Lakers -9, which is available on DraftKings at -113 at time recording of 3:39 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, a couple reasons why I like the 9. First of all, the Lakers opened up at roughly 4.5-point favorites, 5-point favorites in Game 1. They ended up smacking them, won by double digits. But the main reason why the line has doubled in size is because of the fact that the Heat have lost a ton of key contributors, or at least they will not be at 100%. So just to break it down, Dragic, of course, everybody knows, has the serious foot injury. He might play through it, but he is probably not going to be anywhere near as sharp as he was beforehand, and that's assuming he even plays at all. He might play later in the series, but I don't expect him to play Game 2, or if he does, I expect him to play limited minutes because he has a pretty serious foot injury that usually takes a couple of weeks, if not a month or so, to rehab from. So that's something to keep in mind. Plus, you also had the serious injury to Bam Adebayo as he ended up suffering a shoulder strain, and he is doubtful for Game 2. Even if he does play, I do think that he will get limited minutes to some degree. He's so valuable to the team that you can't really afford to give him limited minutes, but he had that shoulder issue in the last series against Boston in that closeout Game 6, and I simply just think that Adebayo is probably not going to play either. I think the Heat know that they have a better chance of winning the series, hypothetically speaking. Of course, I don't think they're actually going to win the series now. But hypothetically speaking, I think they know that it's better to probably give Dragic and Bam a game off, perhaps, be down 2-0, and then try to come back after. Because if Bam and Dragic are actually seriously hurt and then they re-aggravate the injury, that's a complete disaster situation. That's something to keep in mind. But the Lakers, the main story in Game 1, of course. Oh, plus I also forgot to mention that Jimmy Butler also twisted his ankle. He ended up playing through it, played pretty well at 23 points, 5 assists, 8 for 13 from the floor. But he did suffer the twisted ankle, so that's something to monitor going forward, especially on the defensive end, as he is most likely going to be matched up against the likes of LeBron James, etc. But the main issue that I have with the Heat for Game 2, based on the injuries, is the fact that they're probably going to get killed on the boards, and they have no answers defensively for LeBron and Anthony Davis. And that takes us into what happened in Game 1. The Lakers ended up winning by 18 points. Could have been a lot more. They were up 30 roughly in the third quarter. AD at 34 and 9 was 11 of 21 from the floor with 10 for 10 shooting from the foul line. The Heat couldn't stop him even when Adebayo was playing. He only played 21 minutes. LeBron was great, played 36 minutes, 25 points, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists, and 9 for 17 from the floor. He was great. The Heat had no answers for either of them. Now, I know that the Lakers ended up hitting 11 three-pointers in the first half, which helped them blow the game open before falling apart in the second half from the three-point line. But it doesn't change the fact that the Lakers on the boards out-rebounded Miami by 18. They rebounded them the entire game through, a lot of second-chance points, a lot of free throws, etc. And, for example, the Lakers shot roughly twice as many free throws as Miami. The Lakers went 25 of 27 from the line, and the Heat went 11 of 14. Now, the reason why I bring those up is because of the fact that if Adebayo is not playing, let's assume he's not going to play. Defensively, you had no answers for Anthony Davis and LeBron in the first place. Adebayo is by far your best defender. And now you have to swap Bam Adebayo for Kelly Olynyk. So instead of having Adebayo, a phenomenal defensive center, guarding Anthony Davis, you now have Kelly Olynyk guarding Anthony Davis for roughly 30-something minutes, if not Myers Leonard. AD is going to feast. And not to mention the fact that LeBron as well, when he drives to the paint, but Adebayo is a very good rim protector. Olynyk is not. He's okay, I guess. He had 2 blocks in 18 minutes in Game 1. But of course, Adebayo is the better rim protector, with some of you may remember the block he had on Tatum, etc. But other than that, though, if you're looking at the Heat's lineup, you're going to go from a lineup that has Adebayo, Butler, Crowder, Dragic, and Robinson. as a starting lineup. Not really Robinson as much because he starts and then plays less minutes than Tyler Herro. But either or, now you're looking at a lineup that has, I don't even know what they're going to do. They're going to put Olynyk at center. They're going to go super small and hope that Iguodala can play. So I have no idea what they're going to do. But either or, the Lakers, I just think have too many weapons. The Heat offensively should struggle as Adebayo is a phenomenal passer, and they run a lot of sets through him. Plus, Dragic has a very solid ability to create off the dribble. I know he only had 6 points in game one because he only played 15 minutes, but he was 3 for 8 from the floor. And he is also a solid shot creator that Miami has in isolation, and now he's not going to be there, which is an issue. But looking at the actual lineup, simply put, the Lakers just have too much talent. They have too much size. They're going to dominate the rebounding once again. I don't think the Heat have any interest for LeBron or Anthony Davis, and I do think that with the Lakers getting more second chance points and more possessions, they're going to go to the line more. And I think that even though Miami does have a lot of heart, and I do think that this team will definitely go down swinging, at the end of the day, if you're missing Adebayo, your second best player, and Dragic, who in my opinion is their third best player, with Butler being in the middle, I think that they are in for a lot of pain. Plus, you also have to wonder about how well the lineup's going to gel now that they're going to be playing in certain rotations that they're not used to, with different lineups they might not have tried really before, besides maybe a couple minutes here or there. Now they have to start a specific lineup that's new. It's just not a good spot here. So for that reason, I think the Lakers should win pretty handily. I assume they don't take their foot off the gas too heavily. I think AD should go for 30-plus again. LeBron will probably go for a 25 or 30-point triple-double again. And I think Miami's going to struggle. I think there is a chance Miami can cover if they catch fire from the three-point line. But I do think that's going to be an issue on the boards and at the foul line. So the play of the day, once again, here for Friday, October 2nd, is going to be on the Lakers -9, which is available on DraftKings at -113. That's been the installment of Scott Selections. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.